Welcome to another video. In this episode we are shortening the drive shaft and we install it in place. Then we are getting ready for test drive, but you probably already know what happens in this test drive again. So welcome. I measured the drive shaft under the car and it needs to be about 25 millimeters, about 1 inch shorter. So that will be the next thing. This is quite crusty, so I got new one. The bearing seems fine, but it might be that I'm going to use the original one instead of aftermarket one. But let's go and cut this. I don't know which part of the shaft I'm going to cut it, but so here's the shortened drive shaft, front piece. There was a sleeve inside that we just turned a little bit smaller so the cutted pipe can go on top of it, and then we weld it together, and there's also a new bearing. Now I'm going to put it in place. I got the drive shaft installed a couple days ago, and as you can see, the car is now there. I drove it there with its own power line. We didn't push it there. I'm gonna do some test driving today on the road. I've done some preparations. I had to borrow air filter from my Celica, and I also installed the idle air control valve yesterday, so it will run a little bit smoother. I think I have to install the radiator grill so it doesn't look that bad, but I'm gonna wait till night that there's not so much traffic if I have some trouble, so it would be embarrassing to, you know. I've packed a little survival kit with me. There's some tools and oil and water for the coolant system, and of course some rope for towing if there comes the worst case scenario. I have to borrow summer tires from my friend because those are winter tires and I do not have summer tires for this, so I'll change those and then we can go. So I went for a test drive last night. We drove about 2 kilometers and then we pulled over to check if everything's okay. The oil feed for the turbo was leaking a little bit, and we noticed that the oil that was leaking from the connection was like light brown. So then we checked the oil cap and the oil stick, and it was all this foam, light brown foam. So I'm going to do a couple oil changes now and see if the problem goes away, if there's some condensed water or something, but I'm afraid that there's the cylinder head or block is cracked, so let's see what happens after those couple oil change, flush change things. Well, this doesn't look very promising. Well, let's flush anyway. So now I have changed the oil and filter a couple times. The oil in the dipstick is now clear. I must later go and test drive the car again to see if it's still making foam in the dipstick and under the oil filler cap. We'll see it later. There's still some kind of foam party after new test drive. Also here. Not good. So it's not so good feeling right now. This is something that I don't need right now. I think I need to keep a little break from this car at least, because I'm out of money and motivation. Uudet siivet mä sulle loin. Ei ne kauas kantaneet. Jiit setako nyt pellin alle. Aika vastauksen antaneen. Tina Kutosen muistoa kunnioittaen. Henri. So that's all for this video. I don't know when I will continue building this car. Now my motivation is pretty near to zero, so well, maybe we continue someday with this car or something else. Please leave a comment below if you have had some this kind of problems with your car. And remember to subscribe and like the video. Thanks for watching, and we'll see someday on another video.